What's up, worldwide family? It's your homie Omar S for YouTube and for the West Coast Wave on Library. This one came this morning. Let's take a look at that picture. A woman looks at signs at a store in Niles, Illinois. Carpet sale. Store is closing, going out of business. We have hand sanitizer, 70% alcohol, a mask with filter. Maybe they're selling that. I don't know. A sign of things to come, my friends. This is like on a weekly basis, millions and millions of people applying for jobless aid. So this is by the Associated Press, May 28th, 5:42 a.m. Okay, this must be an update because I got this notice this morning. Roughly 2 point, well, just so you're aware, it's June 11th, 2020, 8:27 a.m. out of Washington. Roughly 2.1 million people applied for U.S. unemployment benefits last week, a sign that companies are still slashing jobs in the face of deep recession, even as more businesses reopen and hire some laid off employees. About 41 million people have now applied for aid since the virus outbreak intensified in March, though not all of them are still unemployed. The Labor Department's report Thursday includes a count of all people not receiving unemployment aid, 21 million. That is a rough measure of the number of unemployed Americans. The jobless rate was 14.7 in April, the highest since the Great Depression, and many economists expect it will near 20% in May. Yeah, right. It's not that. It's more than that. You got to include like maybe another 10% of people that haven't even applied because they haven't been able to, because in their state, the systems have been so clogged, or there's people that don't know how to apply online because that's the way you got to do it. It's really bad, people. I do these reports because it's like y'all need to be aware of, especially people who are subscribing to this and following me. Like this is really just like a sign of things to come that I want y'all to be aware of and like kind of prepare on your end as we are preparing on ours. Uh, the national jobless rate was at 14% in April, the highest since the Great Depression, and many economists expect it will near 20% in May. States are gradually restarting their economies by letting some businesses, including gyms, retail shops, restaurants, and hair and nail salons, reopen with some restrictions. As some of these employers, including automakers, have recalled a portion of their laid off employees, the number of people receiving unemployment benefits has fallen. Yeah, but who's gonna buy cars with no job? I swear to God, they. Anyways, all right. Sorry. First time applications for unemployment aid, though still high by historical standards, have now fallen for 8 straight weeks. In addition to those who applied last week, an additional 1.2 million applied under a new program for self-employed and gig workers who are eligible for jobless aid for the first time. These figures aren't adjusted for seasonal variations, so the government doesn't include them in the overall data. Analysts are monitoring Analysts are monitoring incoming economic data to gauge how consumers are responding as many retail establishments gradually reopen. Jobs won't return in any significant way as long as Americans remain slow to resume spending at their previous levels. Exactly. Data from Chase Bank credit and debit cards show that consumers have slowly increased their spending since the government distributed stimulus checks in mid April. Consumer spending had plunged 40% in March compared with a year earlier, but has since rebounded to 20% below year ago levels. Most of that increase has occurred in online shopping, which has recovered to pre virus levels after having tumbled about 20%. But offline spending, which makes up the vast majority of consumer spending, is still down 35% from a year ago, according to Chase, after having plummeted 50% at its lowest point. Again, this is from the Associated Press. They're an independent, not for profit news cooperative headquartered in New York City. 2.1 million U.S. workers sought jobless aid last week. It's by the Associated Press from May 28, 2020. I thought this was a more recent one. But I guess it's on its way. Thank you for tuning in. There's more on the way. Like, share, unlike, subscribe. Thank you.